So we have with us Venki. He said I can call him Venki. I always wanted to call a Nobel laureate Venki. Hi, Venki. So lovely to have you. But first, just to check if you really are the man, can you please tell us what is a ribosome?
So when most people think of modern biology, they think of DNA or genes. If you tell someone DNA or genes, they all nod. You all think you know what a gene is or DNA is. But the reality is most people actually don't know what a gene is. They vaguely know it's something we inherit. It's something that gives us our characteristics. And somebody could have good genes or some particular crop has bad genes. But if you ask them, what is a gene, they won't be able to tell you. And what a gene is information. And most genes contain information on how to make a particular protein. So we have about 20 to 30,000 genes inside us. These genes are basically segments of DNA. So we have a long molecule of DNA, and different stretches contain information. So you can think of a long strip of paper, and occasionally there'll be a sentence, and which specifies something on that strip of paper. So you can think of the sentence as the gene contains information. Now, the information is to use to make proteins, and I have to ask, why are proteins important? Well, most people, if you mention proteins, they say, yes, we know we have to eat enough of that in our diet in order to be strong and healthy. Or they might think of protein as muscle. Actually, muscle is only one. Actually, it's about 2 or 3 kinds of protein that go up to make a muscle. But there are thousands of proteins. Each gene specifies a protein, so there are about 20 to 30,000 different types of protein in us. What do? They do everything. For example, your skin and cartilage is made of a protein called collagen, whose structure was actually first discovered in Madras, at the University of Madras. And the protein that carries oxygen from your lungs to your muscles and tissues is called hemoglobin. That's another protein. The protein that allows you to see Manu and me is another protein called rhodopsin, which is a light detector in your eyes. When you get infected, your body makes antibodies, your immune system makes antibodies. Each antibody is a protein. So you get the picture. Proteins do a huge variety of functions, wide variety of shapes and forms, and every one of them is made by following the instructions in a gene that codes for that protein. So how is that done? Well, think of DNA as a collection of all our genes. You could think of that as a library of books. If you go to the British Library in London, which is supposed to have every book published in Britain, you can't, as a random person, just walk in there and say, I want to read that book. They won't let you have it. What they will do, if you can show you need it, is they'll make a copy of that book, either a Xerox copy or, scan. Nowadays it's a digital scan. And they'll let you read that. The cell does the same thing. When it wants to make a particular protein, it simply copies the section of DNA that contains the gene for that protein into another molecule called messenger RNA. And then it's that messenger RNA, which still has that same genetic information, that's read by an enormous molecule called the ribosome. Now, when I say enormous, it's a matter of context. It is, in human terms, extremely small. On a width of a hair, you could line across 20,000 ribosomes across the width of a hair. So it's tiny in human terms. In molecular terms, it's enormous. It has 500,000 atoms. So it's incredibly complex. And it's what's reading this gene and making the proteins that are specified.